Here in the Bay State, fans from far and wide file into the Tsongas Center to witness the start of a new era in women's professional hockey. The best players from around the world have been waiting for this moment, and they're ready to start their season, the first ever season of the PWHL. Tonight, two teams from hockey-crazed states square off. It's Minnesota versus Boston, and it's coming up next.
Since we first learned to skate, we have been captivated by the dream of owning the ice. Driven to conquer it with speed and skill, we use it to elevate the game. Years, months, days, minutes, and sometimes seconds, time measures our dedication. When no one is watching, when it's dark and cold, with persistence, we keep going, again and again. Our legacy has been built on the cornerstones of passion and sacrifice. Heroes of yesterday, today and tomorrow, building together. Today we compete, united in spirit and intention. A new era of trailblazers, under lights shining bright. We are here to show what is possible. We are here to spark new dreams. We are here for all of us. Ice time earned.
You're looking live at the Tsongas Center in Lowell, Massachusetts as we get set for Minnesota versus Boston. First games of the season for each of these two teams. We now hand it over to the public address announcer here in Boston for the team introductions. Jake Zimmer, take it away.
And the Director of Player Health and Performance, Jason Byrd. And now for the team staff, Director of Team Services, Izzy Germain. Video Coach, Sierra San Roman. Skills Coach, Louis Russo. Assistant Coaches, Stephanie McKeough and Pernilla Winberg. Advisor to the General Manager, Paul Nemitz Carlson. Assistant General Manager, Megan Turner. And your PWHL Boston team is led by Head Coach Courtney Kessel. And the General Manager, Danielle Marmer. And now for your PWHL Boston players. Number 2, Emily Brown. Number 7, Sydney Moran. Number 9, Sophie Shirley. Number 11, Alita Mueller. Number 12, Taylor Wetzkowski. Number 13, Kaylee Fretkin. Number 16, Amanda Pelkey. Number 17, Taylor Gerard. Number 18, Sophie Jakes. Number 19, G.G. Marvin. Number 20, Hannah Brandt. Number 22, Jessica DiGirolamo. Number 25, Emma Buckles. Number 26, Sammy Davis. Number 27, Cheyenne D'Arcangelo. Number 30, Emma Soderberg. Number 31, Aaron Franco. Number 35, Kimmy Kronich. Number 36, Lauren Gable. Number 37, Teresa Schaufsall. Number 55, Samantha Isbell. Number 77, Nicole Costa. Number 97, Jess Healy. Alternate captain number 47, Jamie Lee Rattray. Alternate captain number 5, Megan Keller. And your captain, number 21, Hillary Knight. Ladies and gentlemen, your PWHL Boston team.
The home fans meeting the PWHL Boston team. Ceremonial puck drop after this. A special guest in Patrice Bergeron dropping the ceremonial puck. Jake Zimmer will set us up for that.
Victory cements his status in hockey lore. Known for his leadership and sportsmanship, he represents the heart and soul of Boston's rich sporting heritage. His 19-year NHL career, marked by sustained excellence, showcases him not just as a player, but as a true luminary of the game of hockey. Here to drop the first puck in support of the PWHL's inaugural season, joined by his children, Zach, Victoria, and Noah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Boston Bruins legend, Patrice Bergeron! Joining Patrice Bergeron at center ice is Minnesota captain Kendall Coyne-Schofield and Boston captain Hillary Knight. Thank you, Kendall and Hillary, and a very special thank you to Patrice Bergeron and his family. Joining Boston on the ice for the national anthem, the girls from the East Coast Wizards. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, would you please rise and remove your hats for our national anthem. Here to perform the Star Spangled Banner from Springfield, Massachusetts, please welcome award-winning recording artist finalist from The Voice, Michelle Brooks Thompson.
You see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed hither to a light's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' bright light, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Brooks Thompson.
Wonderful pregame ceremonies here at the Tsongas Center and a beautiful rendition of the national anthem by Michelle Brooks Thompson. Thanks for joining us tonight for the home opener for the PWHL Boston team against PWHL Minnesota. I'm David Korzanowski. Happy to bring in Bridget Prue, who will be broadcasting with me tonight and most of the season. Bridget, this is a great moment here for both of these teams, for this league, and for fans around the world.
It's another historic moment for the PWHL and women's hockey in general. The first ever PWHL game here on American soil and the first game for both of these clubs.
It's time for the game day rosters presented by Tim Hortons as we get a look at both teams. As you'll notice in this 6-team league, every single one of them is stacked. You're getting a look at PWHL Boston. That top line of Lauren Gable, Alina Mueller, and Hillary Knight will be lethal this season.
Yeah, Hillary Knight just named the captain yesterday. Alina Mueller, one of the best to ever skate at Northeastern as well. A lot of really strong teams in this league.
Fantastic goaltending duo as well. Erin Frankel will get the start tonight. As you look at Minnesota on the other side, Taylor Heisey, the first-line center, was the first overall pick in this year's PWHL draft.
Yeah, her centering this top line of Kendall Coyne-Schofield and Denisa Krasova. Once again, you're going to see both of these lines start, and I'd be interested to just see how they match up against each other. We've never seen them play against each other.
You're getting a look at Nicole Hensley, who gets the start in game one for Minnesota. She's from Lakewood, Colorado, two-time Olympic medalist, once gold in 2018, and you got to look at some of her stats. From Lindenwood on the other side, Erin Frankel was a monster at Northeastern, the two-time national goaltender of the year, 103 wins in college.
103 wins, that's the program record for Northeastern. She was so solid back in net, a Patty Kazmaier Award winner. And both of these goalies, I mean, every team in this league has strong goalies from start to finish. Some 3, some 4 really great goaltenders on their roster.
As you said, Bridget, it's the top line of forwards out there for both teams. For Boston, it's Lauren Gable, Alina Mueller, and Hillary Knight. Top defensive pairing of Megan Keller and Sydney Morin with Erin Frankel in goal. On the other side for Minnesota, it's Denisa Krasova with Taylor Heisey and Kendall Coyne-Schofield on right wing. Top defensive pairing of Leah Steckline and Maggie Flaherty. Nicole Hensley is in goal for Minnesota. Your referees tonight are Kelly Cook and Jordan Decker. Linesmen are TJ Dockery and Kirsten Welch.
Yeah, I'm playing here tonight at the Tsongas Center, the home of the UMass Lowell Riverhawks, a really great rink. We saw the turnout at both the Ottawa and Toronto home openers, both sold out. and a great crowd on hand here tonight as well.
Boston team colors are forest green, gray, and white. Minnesota donning the road whites. Their team colors are purple, black, and white. They will be playing their home games this year at the Excel Center. This is Zumwinkle stepping through the red line as we're just a couple minutes in to the first game of the season for both of these two teams. Third overall game in the PWHL here in 2024. Things got going on New Year's Day up in Toronto, New York City, with a 4-0 win in the first ever PWHL game.
And then the record set for attendance in that second game in Ottawa, 8,318 fans in the stands for that one, the most at any pro women's hockey event in the history.
But it was a upset by the visitors, a 3-2 win in overtime for Montreal over Ottawa, and the fans were into it up north of the border. 6 teams in the league. Got Minnesota and Boston here. The last one from the States is New York. The 3 teams from Canada, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. The original 6 of the PWHL. At the blue line now, bouncing to the outside. This is Wenskowski. Behind the boards, behind goal is Amanda Pelkey now, stepping through Gigi Marvin. Center ice it goes. And Megan Keller will retreat. Keller, one of the alternate captains for Boston from Farmington, Michigan. Silver medalist in 2022 at the Olympics, gold medalist in 2018.
And no stranger here to Boston, playing her college hockey at Boston University.
Keller was a 2-time Patty Kazmaier Award finalist at Boston College, 3-time first-team All-American as well. Frankel is out behind goal, flicks it along the boards. Erin Frankel from New York State. In the corner it goes, almost turned over as Boston tries to gain possession. Shimmied up ahead to the far side boards and down into the Minnesota defensive zone. Nice crowd here on hand at the Tsongas Center. Cheers throughout the pregame ceremonies and at puck drop as well. We are off and running here in Boston. This is Brandt. Brandt looking for a feed across, and it bounced just past Taylor Gerard. Gerard, the 9th round pick of Boston in September's draft. Here's Hannah Brandt now. Brandt trying to steer it back the other way for Darkangelo. To the blue line it goes. Jamie Lee Rattray. At the back with Jess Healy. Tossed ahead. Here comes Minnesota. Turned over right to Heisey. She scores! Taylor Heisey, less than 4 minutes in. The #1 overall pick in the draft scores the first PWHL goal on American ice.
No surprise, it's Taylor Heisey scoring first. You'll watch on the replay going off the bar and in as that top line center, like you mentioned, the first overall draft pick, going high over the glove of Erin Frankel. Patty Kazmaier Award winner, now the first goal scorer in Minnesota history.
How about that for Taylor Heisey, just 23 years old. From Lake City, Minnesota.
And her head coach, Ken Cleed, telling us that she's really the complete package and she wants to be the best player in the world and works so professionally to get there.
Tapani, the Finnish native, tried to send one towards Frankel. Again, it is Taylor Heisey. 3:56 in the first period. She breaks the scoreless tie. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Boston trying to regain their footing as the visitors strike first. Might have hopped off the stick of Jessica DiGirolamo as well and beat Frankel in the top left corner over her stick side. Here's Alina Mueller, 3rd overall pick in the draft, and the first by Boston. First line out there for PWHL Boston. Knight bounced it off the back of goal, so retreating now is Gigi Marvin to pick it up. Stepping through. Here's a shot and a save by Hensley.
Boston looking for the quick response to that early goal by Minnesota.
There you get a look at head coach Ken Klee. Was named the head coach of PWHL Minnesota within the last week. Kind of a late addition to the staff, but he is well-traveled, played over 900 games in the NHL.
And he got acclimated very quickly, like you mentioned, because he had to, but he's no stranger to that, having to come in and coach some of these women's national teams. He's had just about a week in the past to try to get things underway. And obviously for both of these teams, it's going to be a work in progress as the season goes on. So this first game really of feeling out where you want your lineup to end up. Special teams also a work in progress on both of these sides, as they haven't had a lot of time to practice, but they're just excited to get underway. Only 125 days after the founding of the league, we had the first game on January 1st.
This is icing, so it'll come back the other way in front of Hensley. Ken Klee has coached several of these PWHL Minnesota players before, including Kendall Coyne-Schofield, the captain of PWHL Minnesota. He's worked with Lee Steckline as well, Kelly Panic with the national team.
Happy to have Kendall Coyne-Schofield as his captain, as somebody that he's worked with before. He said she's a little pit bull. He called her fast, tough, and mean, so you'll see that from her on the ice today.
Here's Dee George, who finished up her college career at Ohio State, won a national championship in 2022. Played her first 4 years at Bemidji State in Minnesota before taking that grad transfer year with the Buckeyes. And Boston breaks away now. This is Jamie Lee Rattray. She'll come off for a change with everyone except Sophie Shirley. Just about 7 minutes gone in the first period. If you're just joining us, it was Taylor Heisey with the first goal of this game at 3:58. Backhand pass by Mueller in front. Knight spinning around, and it's just wide.
And that's what you'll notice from Mueller. If you watch any of her play in college, she's such a great playmaker. She'll pass to the open player. She's a very unselfish player, and a lot of those points that we've mentioned, she holds the record for Northeastern history in points. A lot of them coming off assists because she's such a great playmaker.
Free-flowing game so far, just one icing. As Emily Brown snaps it to her right, looking up ahead. This is Lauren Gable. Gable won a Patty Kazmaier Award at Clarkson. She loses an edge, arms stay down.
Yeah, that looked like it might have been called a trip, but refs letting it go. Something we've seen through the first 2 games in the PWHL, the whistles have kind of been away. The precedent has been to really let play go on. And
turnover, another goal! It's Sophia Kunin. She doubles the Minnesota lead. It's 2-0.
Once again, going in the exact same spot that Taylor Heisey scored, going high and going off the bar and in. And so Boston finds themselves down by 2 early. We'll take a look at the replay. As you can see, the battle won along the boards by Minnesota. And that shot, she just gets it off so fast. And that's how you have to beat Erin Frankel. She doesn't give you any easy ones. And, you know, she's used to playing in college, and these are pros. And so the speed that things happen is just a little bit faster.
And Bridget, with both goals for Minnesota, they didn't really have all 5 set up in the O-zone, right? It was Boston trying to get out the other way, and then quickly Minnesota comes back, snaps a quick shot, scored 2 goals.
Yeah, Boston was trying to transition out of the zone, but like I mentioned, Minnesota winning the battle along the boards, and that's really important for possession. You want to be the team that wins the battle physically there. You want to go into that area and take the puck, and Minnesota showing that they can do that. That's led to that second goal.
What a start by PWHL Minnesota in their first game. 2 goals in the first 8 minutes of this one. And they have the home crowd silenced for the time being.
I will say the pace of this game has been great, and we've noticed that across every single game so far. We'll take a look at the 2 goals as we head to break. It's Taylor Heisey off the post and in, and then it's Kunin once again to make it 2-0.
This is Robin behind the Boston bench, checking the headset.
The PWHL is brought to you by Canadian Tire, Canada's store and the proud founding partner of the PWHL. It's 2-0 Minnesota, a pair of quick goals. The first scored by Taylor Heisey, the #1 overall pick in the PWHL draft in September. This is just a snapshot of her career. Gold medalist at the IIHF World Championships in 2023, also the Patty Kazmaier Award winner in 22 with the Golden Gophers. How about 225 career points in college in just 172 games?
And she really turned it on in that last 2 seasons. She had 64 goals in both of her final years in college. So we knew she was going to come in strong. She puts up great numbers so far in the college level, and it looks like she's just about to do the same thing in the pros.
And Lee was raving about her vision, her physicality along the boards as well. Can't really push her off the puck.
A really great landing spot for her too in Minnesota after playing there in college. Somebody who seems like they're going to fit in perfectly in this organization. You know, you get lucky if you're Minnesota and you get that #1 pick. You have the choice of anyone off the board, and it was a great choice to take Taylor Heisey with that #1 pick.
Off-angle shot goes off the glove of Frankel. Trouble in front, but Boston's off to the races the other way. Hit off of a leg, and Mueller slows down. Alina Mueller from Switzerland has had a storied career on the international stage herself. Back at the left point now is Gable, tries to send it in front, went off of the skate of Susanna Tapani.
Yeah, Mueller, a 2-time Olympian herself, and the only Swiss player in the PWHL.
A lot of different countries represented across the 6 teams, of course. Canada #1, United States #2, but you got players from Austria, Czechia, Switzerland, and more.
And this Minnesota team has the most Americans of any team, 20 Americans on the team, 4 Canadians, 1 Finn, and 1 from the Czech Republic.
Battle along the far side boards now right in front of the penalty box. It's been a clean game so far. No penalties. Heisey's goal was unassisted. There was an assist credited to Britton Fleming on the Sophia Kunin goal. So that's her first point of her PWHL career. Fleming is from Oregon, Wisconsin, and played with the Minnesota Whitecaps in the PHF. To the red line it goes. Trying to snap it away is Rattray. Rattray runs into Kunin, who does a good job sealing it off. Lost her stick, but stepping through now Sheppers. Sheppers left wing circle, low in front. Get off of the stick head and back towards the boards. 2-on-2 in the corner. It's Keller who comes away with it. Keller played in the PWHPA last season with Team Scotiabank. There was the PWHPA, there was the PHF as well. This year, a united front from all players, making the PWHL one that fans are truly excited about here in the new year 2024. Flaherty dumps it into the corner. Minnesota changes. Sydney Morin gets it. Here's Morin again. Morin was actually drafted by the opponents here tonight. She was drafted by Minnesota, then was picked up on waivers by Boston. Head coach of PWHL Boston, Courtney Kessel, said that was a nice Christmas present for our team.
Yeah, that's a really big pickup, and definitely interesting in this league being able to put players on waivers and have these free agent signing. It's different than what teams have dealt with in women's pro hockey in the past. Obviously, the contracts are different, system more similar to the NHL.
There's a save by Frankel. Fans excited, and Minnesota leads 2-0 here at the Tsongas Center. .54 left in the opening period. Minnesota up 2-0 on Boston. Let's take a look at our player to watch, brought to you by Woody Creek Distillers.
Yeah, the player to watch, Alina Mueller, for this Boston team. We mentioned her prowess in international play for Team Switzerland, getting her start there at age 15. And she was nominated for the Patty Kazmaier Award, a top 10 finalist in every season she played, all 5 years at Northeastern. She's someone we'll hear a lot about the whole season.
Loose rebound in front, backhand, and it goes wide of Frankel. Boston with a dangerous rebound led up by Erin Frankel, but it stays 2-0. Boston looks to clear here, backhanded ahead by Hillary Knight. You mentioned Mueller and the fact that she was playing on the international stage at age 15. Not only playing on the international stage at age 15, won a bronze medal at the 2014 Olympics in Sochi as one of the youngest players ever to medal at just 15 years old. Bridget, what were you doing at 15?
Definitely not that. Definitely nothing as impressive as Alina Mueller. And you want to know what's more impressive about her as well? Her personality. She's such a loved teammate. She also speaks 4 languages, being from Switzerland, speaking a lot of different languages to different teammates. She used to speak French to her teammate Chloe O'Rar at Northeastern, who now plays for New York in the PWHL.
O'Rar had a great opener, 2 assists in a 4-0 win on New Year's Day.
Everyone from that top line at Northeastern, a high draft pick into the PWHL, and I feel like the timing was great for them. Coming out of college only a year before the league started, they were prepping for it, and coming immediately into the pros after college was ideal for them. A lot of these women have been waiting a long time for it.
That was one of the things that Boston head coach Courtney Kessel told us was, I can't believe that Alina Mueller just graduated from college. It feels like she's been playing with the Swiss team forever, it seems.
Well, she has.
Yeah. Almost 10 years now. Fighting for the puck now is Taylor Gerard. Gerard played with the Connecticut Whale in the PHF last season. She was the first overall pick in the PHF draft back in 2021. Sydney Morin sends it into the corner. It's picked up there by Cheyenne D'Arcangelo. She sends a shot in front, rebounds loose, and then Hensley makes the save.
Hannah Brandt, a diving shot. What a play, such a quick pass too, through the slot. You see D'Arcangelo sending kind of a pass off the pads. It comes out to Brandt. She looks like she almost put it 5-hole. She's unable to get that goal.
Abby Cook, a nice job defending as well. Native of British Columbia, played in the Swiss League last year. Played 4 years at Boston University, playing in familiar territory here in Massachusetts. Puck stood up behind Minnesota's goal. Hensley has been solid so far, stopping all 4 shots that she's faced. Kuden tries to send it off the boards and to herself, runs into the corner against Gigi Marvin. Minnesota trying to make something happen. It trickles past the blue line, so they'll regroup. Fleming harassed from behind. Brandt the other way. Beautiful pass. Here's Brandt. Brandt, low shot and a save by Hensley. Hannah Brandt, the Minnesota native, starting to assert herself here late in the first period.
Yeah, and that line has been really finding a way to click in this last few shifts.
Low shot, deflection! Frankel covers up. Erin Frankel starting to get into her groove. 4 straight saves by Erin Frankel.
You see Erin Frankel just fighting for the puck, trying to jump on the rebound. And, you know, that's one of her strengths. But once again, it is still 2-0 Minnesota over Boston. We'll have more when we come back.
When we stand on that blue line today, let's take a moment to soak it in. It's pretty incredible. I'm a little emotional, excited. We do it for our teammates that are at home, our coaches that helped us, our families, our loved ones. But most importantly, you do it for yourselves, because you earn this. Let's go out there and kick some ass.
Yeah. Love it. Head coach Courtney Kessel. Sharp blazer as well in the first season as the head coach of PWHL Boston. Had coaching experience on the national stage with Team Canada. Was also an assistant coach at Princeton University for 4 years. Here's a nice pass by Knight. Jammed that in front. And Mueller got stood up a couple times. To the corner she goes. Slammed into the glass by Steckline. And an arm goes up. We have our first penalty of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be against Minnesota. Skating to the boxes, Lee Steckline. So she got called for that play in the corner. And so this first line for Boston able to draw a penalty and get the game's first power play.
That gets the fans up on their feet and clapping and getting ready for the first PWHL power play. Steckline just pushing Alina Mueller into the boards a bit there.
2 minutes for hooking the call. And this Boston team, when we talked to Courtney Kessel, she mentioned that her team still working on the power play as things go on, wanting to install things and not rush the installation. So the power play will get tinkered with.
Jakes looking across, and oh, what a deflection in front. Sliding over was Zumwinkle, as Mueller had a beautiful look on the left wing circle. It's Mueller out there with Jakes, Gable, Keller, as well as Hillary Knight. That's the first line of the power play, at least early on this season. About 40 seconds gone as Gable backtracks by her own blue line and steps up. Gable flipping it ahead, tries to track it down. Minnesota can't clear there. Jakes now. Jakes up against Emma Greco against the glass. Boston comes away with the puck. Back to the point. Here's a big shot, deflected and wide. Sydney Morin let it rip from the blue line.
We haven't got a chance to talk a lot about this Boston D-core, but this is the top defensive pair. Megan Keller and Sydney Morin both out there for this power play. And I really think that this Boston team can generate a lot from this defense.
It's like the second line out there now. Teresa Shopsall with Jamie Lee Rattray, as well as Sophie Shirley, Sydney Morin. Frankel spins it along. Teresa Shopsall, native of Wies, Austria, was the 7th round draft pick by PWHL Boston in September. Shots are 7-5 visitors. Hensley pitching a shutout so far. And Minnesota is able to kill off their first penalty.
Yeah, a clean kill for Minnesota. They were able to take advantage of an accidental back pass by Mueller that didn't connect with Keller at the blue line, so they got that free clear. And they really only allowed one good chance on that Boston power play.
Here's Brandt. Brandt makes a move. Brandt tries to win it back, but good defense once again by Melissa Channel. No shots registered on Boston's first power play of the season. They did get some good looks, like you said, Bridget, but how about this Minnesota defensive unit? They've done a really good job disrupting passes, making things tough for Boston in their O-zone.
They're certainly doing a good job in the neutral zone as well. You've seen Boston kind of struggle with that transition a little bit, and they're not allowing them to come cleanly through. As you can see, that redirection in center ice.
George had it for a moment. Boston has numbers. Mueller has wheels. Here's Mueller, pulls back, shoots, and a pad save, Hensley. Gable, just wide. You see Alina Mueller, 11 in green in open ice, and it could be trouble. Mueller again, and Hensley covers up.
Yeah, that chance by Alina Mueller was one of the best looks this Boston team has seen all game. You see her take it all the way through the neutral zone herself, make a move around her defender and shoot low into the pads, just almost picking that right side post. And this line is buzzing as well. You get the sense that that power play has given a little bit of momentum to Boston.
Boston wins the face-off cleanly. Keller, a big shot, and Hensley somehow holds it up under that left pad.
One of our sponsors here for the PWHL, Canadian Tire, is a proud founding partner of the PWHL, Canadian Tire Canada's store, here to make life in Canada better.
Nicole Hensley, some great saves here late in the first period. Boston up to 8 shots. They have surpassed Minnesota in shots on goal. Stats feed just updating as well. Double-digit saves for Hensley, 10 for 10.
And that's the hard part about your first ever game in a brand new league, all new teammates. You have a little bit of nerves to start the game, so Minnesota able to come out strong, but Boston finding the counter here as of late. And you have to imagine as a goaltender as well, for Erin Frankel, just wanting to get settled in now that she's given up the 2 goals and get a little bit of goal support from the offense.
A goal for Boston in this last minute would go a long way heading into the locker room for the first intermission. Minnesota jumped on top of Boston in the first 8 minutes. It was Taylor Heisey unassisted at 3:58, the first overall pick in the draft, showing why she was selected there. And then Sophia Kunin off of a Boston turnover at 7:54 with an assist from Britton Fleming made it 2-0. Pass behind for Darkangelo. Her shot is blocked in front. Nice job by Melissa Channel, defenseman from Manitoba. Played the last 4 years in the PWHPA. Also played with the Toronto Furies in the CWHL. 10 seconds left in the first period here at the Tsongas Center. Channel looking for Heisey for one last chance, but it's interrupted by Boston, and we enter the first intermission with a 2-0 Minnesota lead. Felt like Boston was getting some momentum going into this first intermission locker room.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the momentum had shifted there towards the back half of this period, but a really strong start for Minnesota. They looked good. They looked like the chemistry was there from the jump.
Sophia Kunin with the most recent goal with the assist from Britton Fleming. Taylor Heisey, Sophia Kunin, the goal scorers in the opener. Boston and Minnesota getting things going here on American ice. We'll be back with intermission coverage from Boston.
Feel my energy. Feel my energy. Feel my energy. It's dangerous.
She gets it! History is hers. She slides in, battling for it. Shoots, scores! Still in play.
We've hit the first intermission. It's the visitors from Minnesota who are up 2-0 on Boston here at the Tsongas Center. PWHL has a great leadership team at the helm. As you get a look at the Board of Governors, how about that first name? Miss Billie Jean King, really invested in the success of this league. She had a chance to sit down with Andy Petrillo of CBC Sports on New Year's Day ahead of the opening game of the PWHL season. Take a look.
Miss Billie Jean King, it is great to see you again. Last time we saw each other, September 18th, it was the inaugural draft.
What a day that was. Wasn't that an unbelievable day?
Incredible day. Still get goosebumps thinking about it. And I can't believe that we're even here now, January 1st. Can you give us a sneak peek into some of that hard work that went into making sure this puck drops at 12:44?
Well, it's actually been 5 years when Kendall Coyne came to us, to Alana Kloss, my wife and me, and she said, can you help us? And so the reason this is working is because I think it's because of Mark Walter is the person who believed in it. It's a single entity owner, which I think is going to help a lot. The investment is very, very high because we want long-term success. Like Stan Kasten, who's really the guy who stepped up, he's the president of the Dodgers and all the different organizations. He's the reason it happened because he got everybody organized. I mean, I'd talk to him one day and he'd go, oh, we just hired 50 people. And then I'd talk to him 2 days later. Oh, we've hired up to 100 now. Now we've hired 50. We started in August and here we are. But we did not want to wait until next year, 25, or even later this year in 24, because the players have waited so long for this. They've done the dream gap for 4 years. But the reason this has a chance to make it is because of the investment. But the people that are working are amazing. They love hockey, first of all. It's given them an opportunity to be in hockey that they never thought they'd have. And for women, it says a lot. I mean, it's been over 100 years since the NHL started. I keep reading 1916, 1917. I don't know which one it was because I get all this confusing information. But that's over 100 years. So this has been a long time waiting.
Yeah.
And the women are so excited. They keep pinching themselves. I don't think people realize the yearning that's gone on for generations for this. But it's going to make it because of long-term investment. One owner, Mark Walter, said yes. When Ilana and I got him to say yes, we knew that they had a chance. But if Kendall Coyne hadn't come to us over 5 years ago, in fact, we know when it was March of 2019. She called us, and Ilana went out in the hall. We were at a Lakers game, and that was the beginning because she said, we need help. We really want the top players want a place to play, and this is it. This is their opportunity, and I've been there through tennis. I know what it feels like. We signed a $1 contract in 1970 to go against the establishment to start women's professional tennis. And we did it, and it was so scary. I mean, it was so scary. And I think some of them are probably feeling, it's scary. But they're thinking about, one thing I love about the players is they talk about they're doing this not for themselves only, but for the future generations. So kids out there that are, young girls that are 8, 9, 10, when they were at the draft, for instance, they were crying, those kids. I looked over and they had their uniform, their jerseys on, and they were crying because they knew now they'd have a chance to be a pro hockey player.
And they say if you build it, they will come, and they have, especially in Canada. I mean, Toronto has sold out all 12 games. Ottawa's going to set a record for most attendance for a women's pro game.
I can't thank Canadians enough because they're going to make it happen. If they show up, you support these women, it's going to make it happen. And hopefully we have 6 teams right now, 3 in Canada, 3 in the U.S. But obviously we want that to grow. We don't want it to be just 6 teams forever. But the NHL had their original 6 teams, so it's kind of a good omen, I guess. They've done really well.
Yeah, they've done okay. And you know what? I mean, even hearing you talk, I've got goosebumps all over again. You have made me excited for today if I wasn't already excited, and I hope you enjoy the moment.
Well, we're really excited. Lon and I actually got off a cruise in Dominica to come yesterday, to be here today, because I know this is the birth of women's professional hockey that are going to make it. We have the best players in the world, which is really important. Canadians, Americans. We have 12 countries, actually, different countries of women signing up. We're going to have more as time goes on. But this is the birth day for this, besides being January 1st, 2024. I mean, I am so excited.
This is the start. Billie Jean King, always appreciate talking to you.
Thanks a lot, Andy. It's great to see you.
What an awesome video. Still get chills watching that. When we come back, we'll get a look back at PWHL opening day with the game between Toronto and New York. Back in a moment. First intermission here for the home opener for PWHL Boston, but it's PWHL Minnesota with a 2-0 lead. Well, there have been 2 games that have gone final in the PWHL so far this season. We'll now send it over to Daniela Ponticelli as well as Cheryl Pounder for a look back at the first game of this league's season between New York City and Toronto.
Daniela Ponticelli alongside Cheryl Pounder here at the close of a historic day with the Professional Women's Hockey League. We opened it, Cheryl. I asked you the impossible dream. It's possible. It has now come to a close. We now have first checked off for a number of people, but this was really what it was all about, the moment.
Yeah, it was, and the impossible has become a reality for the youngsters in this generation. There is a place to play, and as these women in the present stepped on the ice, it was also the foundation of which to grow. You saw people capturing the moment, the youth organization, the kids dancing in the crowd, the smiles, and that's why I said at the beginning of this game that I wanted the women to look above the glass, not below it, to focus in on just the puck drop, but it was about a unified group, a voice, a strength. These 2 teams, everyone in the league that got us to this moment. It's memorable. It's a moment that will live with these women forever. It's a moment that will live with me forever.
And we just saw at the close of the game both teams coming together. Talk about unified. That was a moment as well. The crowd absolutely gives me chills to think about. But let's bring it back to the hockey. We saw some great goals, 4 different goal scorers, but all on one team, Cheryl.
Yeah, New York, they were a buzzing, weren't they? And it's going to be Ingrid Ingersoll, Ontario's Ella Shelton. That is going to get the first ever goal in the PWHL. And you can just see the excitement. Everyone was corralled around her. And although it didn't come from the home team, Toronto, there was excitement. And then this play, I mean, Alex Carpenter, who is one of the most gifted goal scorers in the world. What a shot. That's top cheddar against one of the best goaltenders in the world, and Kristen Campbell, who plays for Team Canada. But it continued to go north. This is a beautiful feed by Downey Landry over to Saulnier, just driving the back door, and she's able to pot it in. I mean, this is a team that has really come together from all over, but they found chemistry, and this final goal was unbelievable too. Just having the presence of mind to dig in, the relentlessness without Campbell having a stick, and it's going to be Vesta on this doorstep, who makes no mistake. So 4 unanswered goals for this group. They've come together, they've relocated, and they get it done this afternoon in Toronto.
Absolutely incredible. Of course, our Anastasia Buse is asking New York head coach Howie Draper about, who the star will be. We got to give it to Corrine Schroeder, the netminder, who has now also made history. First shutout in the PWHL.
Not a bad place to start. Hey, Daniela, starting with a shutout 29 save performance. I mean, just picking up where she left off in the PHF of the goaltender of the year. Look at what she did at university for both BU and Quinnipiac. I mean, she is a 5'11 goaltender, but look at her at the top of her crease, the way she moves down low. It's all about anticipation and knowing where the biggest threat is on the ice. And guess what? She took it away. The goaltender was their best player today. She kept Toronto at bay, and she's going to get the first ever win, not allowing one buyer, and you can see it in her face right there, how excited she is to bring the victory home to New York.
Well, I don't know if it's official, but we did notice 2 sticks, Shelton and Schroeder's, making their way likely to the Hall of Fame.
Amazing.
That's what it seemed like, a big historic day in the PWHL, and it all starts here. The rest of the regular season is ahead.
Great recap of Game 1. How about Game 2 up in Ottawa? A crowd of crazed Canadians watching Montreal square off against Ottawa. It was the visitors from Montreal who got a 3-2 overtime win. But really the story of the night, a record-setting crowd. 8,318 people filing into the arena at TD Place. Great overtime win for Montreal. We got start of the second period, moments away here at the Tsongas Center. 2-0 Minnesota the score after 20 minutes. First chance to say hello with Bridget Prue. I'm David Korzenowski. So happy that you're tuning in tonight. And Bridget, a great start for Minnesota, but Boston found their way towards the end of the period.
Yeah, 2 quick goals, both in the first 8 minutes for Minnesota. Then you saw that power play give a little bit of momentum back to Boston. It was really 2 opportunistic plays by Minnesota and turnovers by Boston that led to those goals. So if you can just clean that play up along the boards and get those details down, they have a better chance in the second.
Let's take a look at the second period stats brought to you by Ream Canada. Those are your goals. Taylor Heisey at 3:58 and Sophia Cunnan at 7:54 with the assist from Britton Fleming. The puck is dropped. Let's go to period 2. Home opener for Boston here in the 2024 PWHL season, the inaugural season in this 6-team league. So happy to be bringing you tonight's coverage from the campus of UMass Lowell. Beautiful facilities here. We haven't talked enough about the Tsongas Center yet, but Coach Courtney Kessel on the Boston side was raving about this facility, the people that work here, all of the hands that go into making tonight what it is.
And one of the big differences between this league and women's professional leagues in the past is that every facility that these 6 teams play in is so great.
Here's a shot, and Hensley with the save. Big time try from close. Looked like Shopsall. Pardon me, that was Lauren Gable, right wing circle. She had Rattray over to her left as well, and Hensley is 12 for 12 in net.
Yeah, we'll get another look at diving defensive play, but she got her to commit a little bit early, and Hensley having to make the stop. So Boston trying to come out quickly in the second.
Quickly sending shots on goal. That might have been a point of emphasis with Coach Kessel and company in the locker room. Rifled just wide by Emily Brown. She's from Blaine, Minnesota. Or the A with the Golden Gophers, was the captain her last 2 seasons as well. Brown had a 5-year career with the Golden Gophers, played in 167 games.
Rattray taking a bit of a check along the board. She'll head off to the Boston bench.
Opposite side now, this is Kelly Panic. Panic from Plymouth, Minnesota. Let's talk about the Minnesota connections on this visiting team. 13 of the 27 players on the roster were born in the Gopher State. Even more impressive, 16 of the 27 played college hockey in the state of Minnesota. So that could be University of Minnesota, Minnesota State, Minnesota Duluth, Bemidji State. A lot of good hockey teams up there.
Yeah, and really Minnesota with a lot of players on every team in this league because it's such a great hockey state. We see a lot of connections on both teams to Minnesota as well as Boston, because those are 2 areas that have some of the best hockey schools in the country for college.
Something head coach Courtney Kessel talked with us about this week was there's so many skilled prep schools and high schools here in the state of Massachusetts. As we get a look at the first 5 picks from Minnesota in this year's draft. They had the first overall pick, so they picked double, picks 12 and 13, and get a look at those names.
Yeah, it's a snake draft, so they get the first overall pick, and then it doesn't come around, and then they get that 12 and 13. But you see Hensley, the goaltender, being taken second. Really important to get a good goalie in the draft, so not surprisingly, they take one early.
And we do have a penalty against Boston. Believe this is a delay of game. And it's DiGirolamo who will sit for 2 minutes. So now the first time that Minnesota is on the man advantage here tonight. Get a look at their first line on the power play. They got Sheppers out there, as well as Heisey. Bookbinder, Coyne in front. And the 6th and final is Denisa Kruzova. Here's Kruzova stepping up. Nice pass to Heisey. She shoots, but a big block. The captain, Hillary Knight, stepped in the way.
Heisey, you can already see her movement in the offensive zone on this power play. She's not staying stagnant. She's finding ways to open up those passing lanes and shooting lanes for her.
Nice clear by Boston. To the opposite corner it goes. Hensley's out of goal, but a little pressure from behind by Hillary Knight. No problem for Nicole Hensley.
Well, and the new rule in this league is if Boston scores a shorthanded goal here, they will get their player out of the box. So that's one big difference between the NHL as well as college in this PWHL league.
Yeah, huge difference. You score a shorty, You also clear the penalty.
And I wonder if that really changes the approach. Alina Mueller has been someone that has been great shorthanded, so maybe she can give this Boston team an advantage on the penalty kill. She can be aggressive.
Yeah, if you looked at the penalty killing unit for Northeastern last year, it basically looked like their power play. Chloe Arar had a ton of shorthanded goals as well. We referenced her, player on PWHL New York.
And that's because both players, her and Mueller, are so sound defensively as well as aggressive offensively, so they're never going to make the rushed play. They're always going to do the same thing.
There's a shot from Zumwinkle, and it's blocked again. Boston stepping in these shooting lanes during Minnesota's first power play. Just 2 seconds left, and we're back even, full strength. Still a chance for Minnesota. Heisey winds up. Pardon me, that was Tapani, but a save by Frankel. Frankel let up the first 2 shots that she faced into goal. Minnesota with no shots on their power play just now.
Yeah, that was a strong penalty kill for Boston. Like you mentioned, just stepping in the way. And an important kill as well, because they're not trying to go down by 3. They need to chip away at this lead and score the next one.
This is Mueller. Mueller backhands it to the outside. This is Morin now. Morin, puck got up vertical, but bounced off the end of goal.
Boston following that penalty kill with another shift from the first line.
Icing is the call. Back the other way, the puck comes. 14:55 left in the second period.
And when you look up and down this Boston lineup for scoring, you can see a few different areas where this team is really strong in that category. Obviously, the top line, Alina Mueller, Hillary Knight, great scorers. But Teresa Schaffsall has also been a really great scorer in her collegiate time at UVM. She was a leader on that team, had a lot of points, had a great offensive career there. She's on the left wing of the second line.
DiGirolamo circling behind goal, passes it back to the top. Right point now. Snap down low and past Lauren Gable. Hillary Knight is there. Knight, a 4-time Olympian, 3 silvers, 1 gold in 2018, and she has scored some big goals on the international stage. Goals in each of the last 2 gold medal games. A loss in 2022 and a goal in that thrilling shootout victory for United States in 2018.
Well, Hillary Knight really is synonymous with U.S. hockey.
In front, backhand shot! Oh, it went wide of goal. Hensley might have got a piece, but it was Lauren Gable with a great chance.
She was trying to get under it, lifted up on the backhand, a really quick shot.
Glove down, Jean Girolamo to her left. Getting a stick on it just a bit was Melissa Channel. Boston fiery right now in the O-zone. Brandt tonight on the left side boards. Blocked. Girard picks it up. Girard left wing circle. And Hensley wisely covers up.
It is still 2-0 Minnesota over. Boston will get a chance by Lauren Gable. Maybe the best opportunity for Boston here tonight. Trying to lift it on the backhand. We'll be back with more after this.
PWHL is brought to you by Bread Financial, official inaugural partner of the PWHL. It's still 2-0 Minnesota. It's been that way since about the 12-minute mark of the first period. But Boston starting to find some answers on the offensive end. And Hillary Knight, the captain, has had one of the most storied careers in U.S. hockey. Let's take a look at this resume.
Yeah, she was just announced as the captain yesterday by Patrice Bergeron. Her head coach, Courtney Kessel, said she has the best shot in the world. She can't be pushed off the puck, and her details are great. She really is a strong player along the boards, and like Courtney Kessel said, one of the best shots in the world. She hasn't had a chance to use it all that much here tonight, though, so I feel like maybe the coverage from Minnesota has been really tight against her. She's going to need to find a way to get open.
Knight just one registered shot. She was also named the 2023 IHF Female Player of the Year. Has been a captain with Team USA as well. Won 2 national championships at the University of Wisconsin. It was a 3-time Patty Kazmaier top 10 finalist. Never actually won the award, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to believe.
I think she's more than made up for it at the pro level. What do you think?
You can say that she maybe proved those voters wrong in her career.
Knight's from Sun Valley, Idaho. Really likes the city of Boston as well. Has been raving about it since being selected. Here's Heisey, watch out! Heisey, and it's blocked. Great recovery by Sydney Morin. Heisey gets it over to Kramer. Almost turned over, but safely back to Abby Cook. At the red line now. Sticks fighting for it. Kramer to the outside, bounces it off of the boards. Keller tries to steer it the other way. Megan Keller stepping through. One of the alternate captains circles back and sends it down low. Trying to find Teresa Shopsall in the corner. Mentioned Shopsall's great career at Vermont. Keller winds up and a save by Hensley. Rebound and another save. Keller has a rocket, and when she lets it rip, good things can happen. Another shot, bounced in front. Shopsall scores! Teresa Shopsall, the first goal in PWHL Boston season.
Wow, a great shift by this first line, and great to make history for Teresa Shopsall. We were just mentioning how she had such a great offensive career for UVM, and now the first player in Boston history to score a goal in the PWHL. A strong shot from the point from Megan Keller starts this entire thing out, and you see Shopsall pick the post, and she beats Hensley for the first time, ending her shutout.
Electricity here at the Tsongas Center. The home fans have been waiting for that moment, and it's the Austrian native Teresa Shopsall, 7th round pick by Boston, who scores the first goal of this team's season. Mueller wants more. Mueller gets to the outside, slows it down, tries to flip the ice, and it went off of the skate of Zumwinkle.
Yeah, that's that second line for Boston. You kind of started to see them get buzzing at the end of the first period. A few strong shifts in the second, and that's a big goal because the next goal was going to really make this either a 3-0 game or a 2-1 game. It would have made it closer, maybe a little bit too far out of reach. So that all-important goal for Boston to get back into this game. We'll take another look. As you can see, she gets that pass and a quick release right there in the slot.
Yeah, it looked like another shot chance that kind of got blocked in front, bounced her way. She settles it down between the circles and scores.
Well, it really was just a lot of chaos out in front of the net of Hensley. Kind of hard to keep track of those Boston players as they were crossing, not knowing exactly who was going to shoot, and it's Shopsall.
Shopsall was the first ever top 10 final. Oh! Watch out! Another goal for Minnesota. It's Susanna Tapani, moments after Boston's first goal. Check that. Grace Zumwinkle gets credit for it. Bar down, and it's 3-1 Minnesota.
Well, that really must be the scouting report on Erin Franco. Look at that move in the neutral zone by Channel to set up this shot, high slot with speed. Zumwinkle able to go high off the crossbar and down. So Frankel has been beat up top, all 3 goals by Minnesota.
Gable all alone sends that one into the netting from an off angle. And right after Boston scored at 7:59 here in the second, it's Grace Zumwinkle less than a minute later.
That's a big one too. And a lot of these, every single goal in this game for both teams has come off of really quick opportunistic plays. And that was just a quick transition, a little bit of a play on the rush, and a goal from the slot from Zumwinkle.
Zumwinkle from Excelsior, Minnesota. Won a silver medal with Team USA in 2022. Played at Minnesota for 5 seasons. And was a top 10 finalist for the Patty Kazmaier Award last year. 3rd round draft pick of Minnesota. And talk about a response by the visitors. Right when Boston cut it to 1, Minnesota with an answer than the other side.
And really what that does is cut the momentum. It stops it in its tracks pretty shortly after Boston got there first. It was just about a minute later that Minnesota scored their 3rd. So that cuts that momentum and kind of cuts the hope out a little bit of this Boston team. It has been the away team that's won every game so far in the PWHL, 2 other home openers.
So back to the Teresa Shopsall goal. The assists go to Jamie Lee Rattray, the alternate captain, as well as Sophie Shirley. On the Grace Zumwinkle goal, the assist goes to Melissa Channel. So we've had 4 different goals in this game. No player with more than 1 point in this one as well. Assists spread evenly. A couple unassisted goals as well in this one.
And what you want to see is points from throughout your lineup. If you're Coach Ken Klee of Minnesota, you're happy to see that you're getting contributions from not just your 1st round draft pick Taylor Heisey, but you're getting it from throughout the lineup.
Zumwinkle is listed on that 2nd line at right wing, playing with a longtime Finnish native and international playing veteran Susanna Tapani. She was out there when the goal was scored as well, and made a great point there, Bridget, as well, that Minnesota is hunting high and they're hunting in the corners to try to beat Erin Frankel.
Yeah, Erin Frankel, so good in net in her collegiate career and also really respected.
Here's a chance and it's blocked. It was Taylor Gerard who tried to tee that one up.
Yeah, she's really respected in the pros already. She was signed before the draft even started.
Heisey in transition now, but Keller seals her off, make sure she can't get to the boards quickly. Sydney Morin ties her up there. Puck squirts out. Heisey has it. Heisey zips it to the open ice. Finds Maggie Flaherty. Flaherty steps down to the goal line. And Boston tries to clear. Right in front of the Minnesota bench. Morin goes the opposite way. Deflected off of Tapani there at the red line. And Flaherty hammers it deep while most of Minnesota goes for a change. Frankel got caught between 2 Minnesota players there for a moment.
And she stumbled a little bit on the way to the front of her net.
Just over 8 minutes left in the second period. Minnesota 3, Boston 1. We saw 2 Minnesota goals in the first. And a goal for each team here in the middle frame. Shopsall springs it out to Rattray. Rattray looks to her right. Oh, just wide. Sophie Shirley with a good look.
Strong, another strong shift from that line.
Possible 2-on-1. Frankel to save. Zumwinkle wanted another.
We talked about a lot of firsts happening in this league. We have not seen a hat trick yet, so the offense in this game, there's been so much of it so far. Maybe that's something that we can see. We saw the first franchise goals for both of these teams already. Shopsall for Boston, Heisey.
A lot of speed for Cava, but it's Frankel who covers it up. 7:10 to go in period number 2. Teresa Shopsall at 7:59 on a chaotic play, but Grace Zumwinkle just 55 seconds later It's 3-1 Minnesota. Let's take a look at the period stats brought to you by Sport Check. Teresa Shopsaw at 7:59, but again, that quick response by Minnesota kind of sucked some of the momentum and the energy out of this stadium.
Yeah, and you see both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, Boston leading in shots, and we have quite a few stars from professional men's hockey in the crowd tonight. Patrice Bergeron joined us for the opening puck drop, but Don Sweeney, the Boston Bruins general manager, in the suite as well. And Adam McQuaid, one of his scouts and player development people, up in the box. And it's important for them to come out and support Danielle Marmer, who was part of the Bruins organization. She made history with the Boston Bruins, working as a scouting assistant and in their player development role. And now her coming here to be the general manager of this Boston team. She's part of that Bruins family as well.
Yeah, Marmer, a huge piece that helped bring Patrice Bergeron into the building here tonight. If you missed it pre-game, it was Patrice Bergeron with 3 of his 4 kids who had the ceremonial puck drop. Cunnin looking back in front, centering feed, puck is loose. Frankel makes the save and it's flicked out. But Bergeron dropped the puck with his children, Zach, Victoria, and Noah. The only one missing was his 4th and most recent child, Felix.
That's because Felix is also a baby. Welcomed into the world in April, I believe. So not quite old enough. We'll get him in skates at some point.
And you mentioned Danielle Marmer, the first GM in PWHL Boston history. She had a great playing career in Quinnipiac down in Connecticut. Played 4 years with the Bobcats.
And there's a lot of connections to Quinnipiac on this team. 3 players drafted from Quinnipiac: Taylor Gerard, Cheyenne Darkangelo, and Nicole Costa, all coming from Quinnipiac. And also, one of the people that helped her with her drafting and scouting is the husband of Quinnipiac head coach. And, you know, he really did a good job trying to scout those Quinnipiac players as well as the rest of players around college hockey. Cass Turner, the head coach at Quinnipiac, and her husband helping out. Cass Turner told me that Danielle Marmer called her a few times trying to get her advice.
Really talented people across the league, 6 GMs, as well as the Board of Governors, who we highlighted in the first intermission. We'll have a chance to talk with Stan Kasten, who is really key in this leadership group, with the Mark Walter group as well on the Board of Governors, and in a leadership president and CEO role with the Los Angeles Dodgers as well. We look forward to talking with him at the second intermission. Off of the end boards now, Boston trying to cut this deficit to just 1. They did that successfully when they made it 2-1, but Minnesota with a quick answer. Here's Rattray now. Here's some space. To the right side it goes. Sent in, but not towards Hensley. Doesn't have to make the save. Boston had 4 green jerseys streaking towards goal. And now it's sprung out the other way. Zumwinkle finding her stride. Zumwinkle tries to turn the corner. Oh, she ran into the post and collided. All at the end boards.
That was a strong move by Zumwinkle.
Back and forth we go. Last 5 minutes of the second period.
Boston finding themselves in the same position as they did at the end of the first, down by 2.
Puck finally comes free. Minnesota controls, gets it to the outside, trying to clear now. Zumwinkle's been all over the place. This is her on the puck now. Gets it ahead to Kelly Panning. Panning played college hockey at the University of Minnesota. To Panning, and a save by Aaron Frankel. 4:13 left, still 3-1 Minnesota. We'll be back for the close of the second after this.
Welcome back. 4:13 left to go in the second period. It's 3-1 Minnesota over Boston. PWHL merch is on sale now. The official online shop of the PWHL is now open. Gear up for game day with jerseys and apparel for your favorite team. Visit shop.pwhl.com to complete your game day fit.
I look forward to making many purchases on shop.thepwhl.com.
You know what I was looking at? The pucks are great, a great momentum for this first game. I was actually thinking about going down and getting one myself because this is a historic event for all of us. You and I enjoying it as well. And I've seen some really great jerseys out in the crowd. Some people already with their Boston PWHL jerseys in the crowd.
Quick shot off of the face-off, and it was Kava who caught Frankel by surprise for a moment. Frankel making the save with that left arm. Aaron Frankel led up 2 goals on the first 2 shots that she's faced, but she's been very solid since. Letting up 3 total tonight, making 9 saves. On the other side, Nicole Hensley has made 15 saves on 16 Boston shots. Here's Mueller. Mueller looking in front, wants a redirection. Oh, it just stays out somehow, some way. That didn't go in. It was Lauren Gable on the doorstep once again. Knight thwacking at it. Hensley another save. Wrap around on the other side, and Gable is stood up once again.
2 great plays in front of the net. Gable and Knight with some prime scoring opportunities. Knight using her body there. You saw her getting physical in the crease, taking away the eyes of Hensley as well.
And I mean right in front of goal. They are all up in Hensley's grill, and somehow it stays out.
She's someone you don't want to let in that area. If you can clear her out of there, you really should. She's obviously a great shooter from all areas of the ice, but you give her that close a shot, she's going to make you pay.
Chopsall, punch save by Hensley. Whoa. This one comes up into the Boston bench, and we have a moment to breathe here with 2:41 to go in the second.
Let's look at some of those last few opportunities. It's the top line for Boston. Gable with a chance on this side, then she takes it behind the net, and she'll get it back out for Knight. And Mueller, like we mentioned, such a great playmaker, finds Knight open in the crease. And she fought through that contact to try to get the shot on goal, but Nicole Hensley standing tall.
How about the performance from Nicole Hensley, 29-year-old goalie from Colorado who has been outstanding. Played in the PWHPA last year with a .257 goals against average. Has played in 5 IIHF World Championships. Had a great college career at Lindenwood University in Missouri.
The interesting thing about this Minnesota team is they have 4 goaltenders, all with different but good pedigrees. And so Hensley being that top draft pick, one of 2 drafted goaltenders. Maddie Rooney, the other goalie dressed for tonight's game on the bench. She also is an Olympic silver and gold medalist. And when we talked to Coach Ken Klee, he said it's really going to be a battle the whole season for who gets the start. Hensley making a great case for herself, but this is really something developing.
In front, Frankel makes the save. It was Emma Greco who was trying to get it past that right pad, but Frankel makes the stop with 1:49 to go. Just one more point on Maddie Rudy. Team USA fans will know her very well. She started and had an outstanding game in that 2018 gold medal game. 2 goals against, 29 saves, and stopped 4 of the 6 shots that she faced in that epic shootout that gave USA their first gold medal since 1998.
And she came to this team as a camp invitee, undrafted.
Crazy.
It is, it really is. Just the depth at goalie that Minnesota has this season.
Minnesota is the only roster I've seen so far with 4 goalies as well. You mentioned that. Boston carries 3. It is Erin Frankel, Emma Soderberg, and just last year's national championship goalie, Cami Cronish.
And Coach Ken Klee told us that he wants to make sure all of them are sharp, so he doesn't want them to be sitting for too long. He said, it's a great problem to have. I have to keep people sharp and in the game, so I expect a rotation on this Minnesota side.
Hensley sealing off the post. It was Hannah Brandt. She had a couple great shots in the first period as well. Brandt playing against her home state team. She's from Minnesota. Grew up in Van Nuys Heights. As Keller backtracks with less than a minute to go. Does either team have a goal left in store before we hit the break? Or will Minnesota enter the locker room up by 2 for the second straight intermission? It was 2-0 at the end of 1. 3-1 right here. Mueller. Oh, he's trying to find Knight, but she gets it back. Mueller, opposite side. DiGirolamo plays it off the boards and goes to the end boards. Mueller, far side. 20 seconds left. Finds Rattray. A lot of great scorers out there right now. Knight, behind her back, was looking for Mueller. Still 12 seconds for Minnesota to work with, but it stood up in the neutral zone. And out to the opposite end. 5 seconds to go. Does Knight have a magic left? She shoots! Hensley! A glove save!
Just 1 second left on the shot when this save is made. Knight trying to get the goal before to beat out the clock. Look at how high and rising that shot is. Not many players can make that shot in this league. She gets a lot on it. Trying to go glove side. Hensley making a stop.
That'll do it for period number 2. Really exciting frame there. Teresa Shopsall with a goal for Boston, and then a quick response by Minnesota. What stood out to you there, Bridget?
Well, what stood out to me was how strong Boston played in that period, though they come out still down by 2. It seemed like they were getting more opportunities. They do have more shots in the game. And they cleaned up some of the details that they made mistakes on in the first period.
3-1 the score. Minnesota with 2 goals in the first period and 1 here in the second. As we get set for the second intermission in just a couple moments, it's 3-1 visitors trying to be. Minnesota is trying to be the 3rd straight visiting team to get a win in this opening week of the PWHL season.
And of course, really important for both of these teams to just feel this league out and see what the competition is going to be like. And both of these teams giving each other a lot of shots faced by both goalies. I think Erin Frankel, someone that will learn a lot from the play in these first 2 periods. of her career. And we have Hillary Knight down on the bench.
Hillary, thanks so much for joining us. Let's talk about the anticipation and the moment leading up to this game. What was the emotion like as you started your first ever game in the PWHL?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that everyone dreams about when they're a young girl, and to finally see this through and have a place to play at the professional level and all the resources and support that goes with it, it's truly a dream come true. So it's a special moment. Obviously, you have to switch hats really quickly. As soon as the puck drops, you got to go out there and play hockey.
How much does it mean to you to be named captain of this team?
It's a huge honor. Whenever you're trusted to lead a group, especially with some of the best players in the world, I mean, you can't take that lightly. The biggest thing is just serving that team, serving the city of Boston, and I don't really know how to put it to words other than that.
Hillary, some great looks for your team there in the second period. Good luck in the third.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be back for second intermission coverage when we return. 3-1 the score. Minnesota, the visitors from the Gopher State, are up by 2 at the second intermission. We'll be back with Stan Kasten for intermission coverage. Join you here at the Tsongas Center in the second intermission. Minnesota leads Boston 3-1 in the third game of the PWHL season and the first for each of these two teams. It is great to be joined by Stan Kasten, who sits on the Board of Governors with the PWHL. Stan, thank you so much for joining us. I would love to just ask, how did you get involved with the PWHL? What was that like?
Well, it started with Billie Jean, who was on our board at the Dodgers and very close to Mark Walter and Kimbra Walter. And they had a relationship with Kendall Coyne Schofield, who had been trying for years to get this going, and they made an attempt at it, and it wasn't going exactly how they wanted. So about a year ago, Mark came to me and said, "Stan, how about doing this?" So we jumped in, and here we are. It's kind of it's been an amazing year, but I could not be prouder of how it has turned out.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, how happy have you been with the turnout so far? It's been huge turnout in both games, as well as the product on the ice has been great.
We didn't know what to expect, but we picked great cities, we picked great venues here in Boston. That Tsongas Center is fantastic, and there's no question about the quality. And anyone who watches women's hockey immediately sees the speed, and they see the hard hitting, the intensity that I think if you hadn't seen it, you wouldn't have predicted it. But no one who watches it doesn't become a fan.
And we heard how important the collective bargaining agreement was to this. What about that makes it so important?
Well, it kind of memorializes all of the things that these players had been holding out for. Not just the salaries, but also the benefits, the insurance, the food, the conditions for training, the staff, working together, collaborating with the league on rules and on venues and things like that. The whole relationship is spelled out there, and it's what makes them feel professional, which is what they've always wanted.
Stan, what are some things that you want to see over the course of the season and going forward with this league?
I just want to see the level of play continue where it is, because it's already the best in the world. I mean, I've seen 3 games. I can say that definitively. It's the best women's hockey in the world, and I want more and more fans to experience it, because with that, everything will flow. Once they come watch it, everything good will follow.
Stan Kasten on the Board of Governors with the PWHL. Thank you so much for
My
joining
pleasure,
us here.
David.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan.
All right, thanks.
We'll be back with more intermission coverage. We will have Patrice Bergeron naming the captains for this PWHL Boston team when we return. It's 3-1 Minnesota here at the second intermission. Fans are having fun here here at the Tsongas Center. And we had Patrice Bergeron with the ceremonial puck drop before the game. He also was the captain of the Boston Bruins, of course. And yesterday, he had the honor of introducing this year's captains of PWHL Boston. Take a look.
Tomorrow, I know when the puck drops that you'll be out for blood and the goals win hockey. You know, and I know that that's the expectation for this group every time we hit the ice. But I want to make sure you give yourselves permission to celebrate, enjoy these moments, and soak it all in. So putting that jersey on for the first time, stepping on the ice, hearing your name called, engaging with the fans in warm-ups, those might seem like minor moments tomorrow. But you know, one day you'll look back on this and say, I was a part of something so much bigger than myself and a truly historic moment.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that it's an exciting time. It's a long time coming for all of you, so good luck this season. I'll be cheering you guys on. As I said to Danielle, you guys are making history. You know, it's you're trailblazers. You're inspiring a lot of young girls wanting to be in your shoes. So she mentioned that. Take a moment to soak it all in. Stay in the moment. Enjoy it. Be proud of yourselves. As I said, it's been a long time coming. A lot of hard work that's put into this. So it's special. I'm glad you'll get to experience Boston sports, pro sports. It's an amazing place to play, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. As I said, it's an historical moment. We always need leaders. Although you don't always need a letter to be a great leader. To be a great and successful team, you need everyone to buy in and to make yourself accountable day in and day out. But that being said, as a former captain myself in Boston, you know, I think you're representing your teammates, you're representing your community, you're representing your fan base, but also you're a role model for the younger generation. You know, the young girls that want to be in your shoes one day. And I think the person I'm about to name is an amazing ambassador for women's hockey, and will be an amazing, you know, representative of this team, this organization. So with that said, the first captain in PWHL Boston history from Sun Valley, Idaho, Hillary Knight. Congratulations. Thank you. That's awesome. So well deserved. So first assistant captain from Canada, Jamie Lee Rattray. Congratulations, that's awesome, so well deserved. From Farmington, Michigan, Megan Keller. Congratulations, well deserved.
Well, Patrice Bergeron was here earlier tonight as well with 3 of his 4 children. The ceremonial puck drop ahead of Boston's home opener. We'll get you highlights and stats in the start of the third after this.
Dear Hockey.
Dear Hockey.
Dear Hockey.
Today I would like to share my love,
My gratitude
and my appreciation.
You have always been there for me and those who have come before me.
Side by side, we have had so many emotional moments.
Now memories that are ingrained into my forever.
You have helped me grow,
learn,
persevere.
You have believed in me,
supported me,
and elevated me.
My 24/7,
my 365,
and now my future.
And now my future.
And now my future. I'm excited about what comes next. I know they will be unbelievable,
unimaginable, and the unexplainable.
But I promise to be strong, powerful,
and be an ambassador of all your good. You have only ever given, and now it is my turn to give back. I am here to amplify.
I'm here to unify.
I am here to exemplify
dreams for every little girl across the globe.
Hockey is for everyone. All my love, forever,
always.
It's 3-1 Minnesota as we get set for the start of the third period. Love that Dear Hockey piece. So many players in the PWHL explaining their love for this game as we welcome you back upstairs here at the Saugus Center. Alongside Bridget Prue, I'm David Korzanowski saying hello one more time. And Bridget, opening night, so many emotions, and you see how much this means to the players.
Yeah, there's been a great turnout here, and not just in this game, but all three games so far. It's great. It's like we're watching history right here in front of us. And like Billie Jean King says, it's not just a moment, it's a movement for these women.
Yeah, let's look at the second period as well. A goal for each team. Boston got on the board thanks to Teresa Schafzahl. And then a quick response from Grace Zumwinkle and Minnesota. Boston opened up a bit of a lead in the shots on goal category.
Yeah, they did. They had more opportunities, but really it's been Nicole Hensley that's been key for this Minnesota team. Their offense has been good in spurts, but Hensley able to stave off especially some great opportunities from the first line as we see the Zumwinkle goals. She also looked sharp in the second period.
Let's get a look at the second period stats brought to you by Ream Canada. Those are the goal scorers with the assists as well. Jamie Lee Rattray and Sophie Shirley entering the scoring column. Shots now 22-14 Boston.
Yeah, and Teresa Schafzahl, you see there making history, becoming the first ever player for the Boston PWHL team to score a goal. And then Grace Zumwinkle coming less than a minute later to put Minnesota back up by 2.
We've seen just 2 power plays in this game, one for each team. There was a hooking penalty in the first period against Lee Steckline of Minnesota, a delay of game early in the second period against Boston's Jessica DiGirolamo, and neither team had a shot on their power plays.
No, they didn't, and it's been a fairly clean game so far. We saw some big hits in that Toronto game. It seems like this has been more of a finesse game for this Boston and Minnesota squad.
Well, when we asked head coach Courtney Kessel about the identity that she sees with this team, one of the first things that she said was that ozone presence and skill, and you can see it with these scores. Here's Hillary Knight, pulls back, backhands, tries to find a teammate. It's in! They call it a goal! Elena Mueller!
Wow, and this one's definitely going to get looked at. It looked like there might have been goaltender interference. Hensley talking to the officials. They're also checking to see if she's okay, but Elena Mueller able to take advantage of the chaos out in front, getting her first goal in the PWHL. The top line center for this Boston team. We'll get another look. Hillary Knight skating and throwing the shot, the pass on the backhand. As you see, it's her own player. Hensley getting knocked down by her own defenseman, Maggie Flaherty. So that's the contact. There's not going to be any goaltender interference from that angle. We get the overhead view as well. That's just a tough thing. It actually looked like, upon that view, hard to see if it crossed the line at all.
I think the next question is, did it cross the goal line? I think that might even be more pressing than possible goaltender interference. Hensley, you saw, was lying horizontal right across the goal line, and it kind of went into her stomach, but not really clear if that entire puck cleared the goal line.
And that's the thing, they have to have enough evidence to overturn the call on the ice. This should be the best look we have. You'll see the puck come in, the player comes in first, that's Flaherty. Puck goes underneath the stomach of Hensley. You never see it cross the line from that angle. And you see Gable getting a second shot there, but it comes right back out after hitting Hensley. I'm not sure that went in.
I will say too, though, Bridget, you don't see it not cross the line, right? There's so much body and equipment on top of it. Maybe it did sneak past underneath. We're not totally sure.
Live from our point of view, it looked like it did cross the line, but goalies are really smart and intentional where they play the puck. They know exactly where the cameras are. They know the back of the net camera. They know the overhead camera, and they're usually able to kind of cover the line. And you see that it may have been accidental in this case because she was falling down, but it looked like she did shield the camera view. And Alina Mueller just waiting patiently to find out if she has her first PWHL goal.
She's got a good smile on her face at least. Crowd getting into it. We're waiting for a call.
No
goal. Wow. So Alina Mueller's first PWHL goal is taken off the board. Nicole Hensley with a bit of a smirk and a look towards her bench. Hillary Knight, the captain, looking for an explanation, as well as Minnesota's captain, Kendall Coyne-Schofield, and we stay at 3-1.
And really, I think that that's the right call. You don't see it cross the line from any of the angles that we had. And however, that is a huge break because that collision could have easily ended in a goal, a miscommunication, or a toe pick from Maggie Flaherty ending up crashing into her goaltender, Nicole Hensley, and that could have easily been the result.
The play was entirely set up by Hillary Knight, who had a chance for a shot, instead backhanded it to her line mate in center, Alina Mueller, and fired from about the left point. And on the ice, it was called a goal after a brief review. They say no goal. The referees here tonight are Kelly Cook and Jordan Deckard. Minnesota with a chance. Flaherty looking for a deflection. Zumwinkle couldn't steer it towards goal. Emily Brown in the corner now. Closed in on by Tapani. Far side it comes. Brown tries to clear, it does. Lauren Gable is there, but it's sent back in by Minnesota. They were offsides.
Yeah, that's a big break for this Minnesota team. Because a one-goal game, that would have made it a one-goal game within the first minute of the third period. And Alina Mueller doing so much in today's game. You wanted to see her get rewarded there with the shot, but she's going to have to wait.
Frankel slows it down for DiGirolamo. Sophie Shirley cross ice. Nice pass. It's a Schaafsal working through. Now Rattray on the near side boards. Rattray backhands it down deep. Schaafsal tries to shimmy and pass. Boston keeps it in. Nice job with the skate by DiGirolamo. Red line, it's sent into the opposite corner. Hensley pokes her stick at it, setting it up for Lee Steckline. Watch out here. This is DeGeorge. DeGeorge all alone. Backhand shot. Frankel makes the save.
And there was some contact there on the follow-through.
Boston the other way, a little bit ahead of Darkangelo. As DeGeorge was streaking in from that right side, had a good look.
Yeah, she did, and because she was getting a shot off, the contact with Erin Frankel doesn't result in a penalty.
In the corner now, Darkangelo trying to draw it loose. Darkangelo played with the Toronto Six last year, won the Isabel Cup Championship in the final year of the PHF. Wrap around! Hensley the save. What a good look by Hannah Brandt.
Brandt has been all around the net this entire game. You see her not being afraid to shoot. We'll get a look at this Minnesota chance on the opposite end of the ice. Trying to go on the backhand, Frankel able to block it. You see the contacts there at the end. No goalie interference called, and then the wraparound try by Hannah Brandt, trying to sneak it by the post and the foot of Hensley.
Brandt won 3 national championships at the University of Minnesota in 2013 and then back-to-back in 15 and 16. She's been great tonight. Here's Gable, nifty stick work, lost the puck. Into the corner she goes, finds Knight. This is the top line for Boston. Gable looking in front. Keller keeps it in. Keller tries a low shot. Hensley covers up.
We'll take a look at the upcoming slate of games for the PWHL. Action continues on Friday as Toronto faces off against New York at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
That'll be fun. Little rematch from the opening night. Keller, big shot. It's high. Near side boards now. Boston trying to keep it in the zone.
You notice Megan Keller has gotten her shot through a few times from the point, and what's good about that is getting the rebound if that puck comes back out.
Looking for Knight. It was Gable on the left side. And here's the captain, Kendall Coyne Schofield. Schofield gets back to center ice. And Frankel steps up to send it ahead. Gable off to the races. Lauren Gable stays on side. To Panny, sends it back where Minnesota slows things down. To the red line, past Zumwinkle. Looks like the puck might have trickled out of play there for a moment. 16-17 to go in the third. Boston still trails by 2.
It looked like for a moment they were gonna chip that score away, but still awaiting a goal here in the third.
Boston has not led in this game. If you're just joining us, it was the first overall pick, Taylor Heisey, at 3:58 in the first. Unassisted goal, followed up by a goal from Sophia Cunnin with an assist from Britton Fleming. It was 2-0 after the first. Teresa Schaafsal cut the Boston deficit to 1 with a goal 7:59 into the second. Assists to Jamie Lee Rattray and Sophie Shirley. Most recent goal coming at 8:54 of the second. Grace Zumwinkle from Melissa Channel. Sheppers. Saras from behind. Looked like Wenskowski who stepped in there. Near side boards now by the Boston bench. Pelkey comes away with it. Pelkey outnumbered. Oh, we got a penalty. Pelkey was sent down to the ice. Boston should be going on the power play.
Yeah, too much contact along the boards as you see the guilty party. It's Kelly Sheppers heading towards the box. And we mentioned this game hasn't been as physical as some of the earlier games. Not that these teams can't be physical. These are two teams with players like Kendall Coyne Schofield and Hillary Knight that are both really physical players. We get a look. She just gets canceled. Pelkey taken down a little bit too late. She had already gotten rid of the puck, so interference the call. And the second power play for Boston.
Boston did not score on their first power play back in period number 1. So they have a lethal group of forwards out there right now with Jakes, Knight, Mueller, Gable. The lone defenseman with the group is Megan Keller, who has a monster shot that she can unload from the blue line. Boston tried to keep it in the zone. Minnesota did a good job clearing on their last penalty kill, and they'll clear here.
Yeah, that time the clear coming from Grace Zumwinkle, one of the goal scorers in today's game. So she's great offensively, and she's going to be part of this Minnesota penalty kill.
Yeah, she's had a great game here tonight. This is Gable, right wing circle, slows things down, looking back for Keller. Keller down low, extra pass, loose. Hensley got her glove on it. Nice passing between the circles for Boston, but just lacking that finishing touch.
Here's a look at the entry by Gable. Slid to the top of the slot for Keller and kind of tic-tac-toe passing, trying to get it through the crease to Mueller to poke it in. Hillary Knight, once again, you see her swarming the net.
Face-off won by Boston, but it is past Sydney Morin, so Boston will backtrack with 1:12 to go on their second power play.
And also their second power play unit out on the ice.
Liz Sheppers sitting for interference. Morin tried to bat that down with her stick. Instead, it goes all the way back to Frankel. Morin will pause for a moment. Up she comes. Morin to her left, gets it back. Morin spins around, sends it in. Batted down by the stick of Flaherty. Maggie Flaherty, defenseman from Lakeville, Minnesota. On the outside now, back to the top. Morin passes to her left. Schaafsal. And great work by the captain, Kendall Coyne Schofield. Takes the puck away and clears. She runs to the bench.
Yeah, Coyne Schofield able to keep the play to the outside, and that's the goal of this Minnesota penalty kill. Just don't let Boston get into the slot.
Mueller trying to slip through all four. Instead, the puck comes all the way into Hensley, where she covers with 17 seconds remaining.
Yeah, 17 seconds left on this Boston power play. You see the top unit back out there. Mueller will step in to take the face-off. She's historically been great at the dot, so important to get possession with only 17 seconds left in the one-woman advantage.
Face-off won by Boston. This is Jakes. Jakes passes back to Keller. Keller shoots! She scores! Oh, excuse me! Kept out!
It went off the post, the left side
man.
post. Just that close, though. It's been that close in this third period, and now we're back to even strength.
Minnesota kills their second penalty. Oh, it stays out! Jakes might have rang the post as well.
There's cheering going on. A lot of the crowd thought that did go in.
Stays 3-1. Minnesota numbers the other way. Puck stood up. Man, Gable loops behind Frankel. Wow, some great chances for Boston, but Hensley has put up a force field. One shot for Boston on their most recent power play.
Getting a little bit of help from the post on that chance from Keller.
Two players for each team fighting for the puck, and we got a whistle.
And we'll get a look at those near misses for Boston in the last couple of minutes. And you see the first one from Megan Keller redirected off the post. Jakes with a follow-up stays out, glove save by Hensley.
The PWHL is brought to you by Hyundai, official automotive partner of the PWHL. 3-1 the score here. Some Terriers from Boston University in the house, as well as players on the Northeastern, Harvard, and Boston College teams. Something that they all have in common, they'll be playing in the Bean Pot next month.
Yeah, they'll be playing at the Bean Pot for the first time ever at TD Garden, where the Bruins play. Another huge event here in Boston for both men's and women's college hockey. So all four of those teams sending players to this historic game.
A distinctly Boston tournament, hence the name, and something that college players pride themselves on and really want to win over the course of their careers. Sammy Davis is on this PWHL Boston team. She's listed as a reserve here tonight, but she was the Bean Pot MVP back in 2019. Had the game-winning goal against Harvard in the championship game. She played for BU.
A lot of the players from either of those four teams will tell you that those memories that they form in the Bean Pot are some of the best memories that they have. Winning that feels so good. And, you know, it's been such a mainstay here in Boston. This year, the women will be playing first before the men January 16th and then January 23rd at TD Garden for the championship.
Knight does a great job to keep it in the Boston O-zone. Gets to the corner, sends it behind goal. Mueller has it now, tosses it out to Keller. Keller to Morin, she keeps it on sides. Traffic in front, and it's batted down by Minnesota. All started by Hillary Knight. Boston has some more O-zone time here. Gable comes away with it. Gable, pad save Hensley, and somehow out to the far side boards. There have been rebound chances, but Hensley has steered them all away from goal.
She scrambled and got her toe on that rebound chance. We get the icing call. We'll get another opportunity to look at a different angle of that save by Hensley. This top line putting the pressure on. You see Gable shooting to the far side. She gets the foot on it. It may have even been a pass intended for Mueller on the backside post, looking to go back door. But Hensley not even allowing the pass to go through.
Face off to the left of Hensley, quickly won by Boston. Jakes now passes to the opposite circle. Shot save Hensley, and again it goes to the outside. Sophie Shirley with the try, looking in front for Rattray. Rattray 1-on-2. Rattray to the corner now, bats it back to the left point. Behind goal it goes. Shirley tried to reach out and stop the puck. It gets to Shopsall, the only goal scorer for Boston, back in period number 2.
And now Boston up to 25 shots on goal compared to Minnesota's 15, so up by 10 shots. The pressure is definitely on. This Boston team is playing well. They have gotten a few unlucky breaks.
And I'll tell you though, this Minnesota team has done great on the defensive end as well, led by Hensley.
Looking at the way that you can purchase your PWHL tickets, nothing beats watching your favorite team live. Get tickets to PWHL games to catch all the action. Visit thepwhl.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Boston will have at least 11 more home games. It's a 24-game regular season, 12 home, 12 road. Boston's next game is on Monday against Ottawa here at 6 p.m.
And Minnesota looking for their home opener coming up later in the month. Minnesota will host Montreal on January 6th.
Greco, bouncing puck is patted away by Frankel. Frankel wearing the red, white, and blue helmet, pads, stick, and glove. And this comes out of play. Deflected out of play, 9:32 left in the second period. We'll be back in just a moment.
Left to go in the third period of play. Minnesota up 3-1 over Boston. You see some of the support around the city of Boston. The team lining up to welcome this new PWHL team into the city. The Celtics, the Bruins, the Patriots as well. And we've seen a lot of support from these Boston pro teams getting excited to welcome this Boston team into a really great sports town. Patrice Bergeron in the building today.
Pretty awesome to see the support from all of Boston's professional sports teams. And Courtney Kessel talked about it as well. She said, we belong in that group. We are now a professional sports team in Boston as well.
Yeah, and really it's kind of a camaraderie that happens.
Zumwinkle trying to tuck it in, but Frankel seals off the post.
It's a camaraderie that happens between these teams. They all feel like they can learn things from each other. A lot of the coaches interact with each other. A lot of the players do. And they're really all in this together trying to win for Boston and make Boston proud.
And Knight has had some fantastic passes. That one didn't get all the way through to Mueller, but she has eyes on the back of her head. It's what makes her such a skilled player. Not just a goal scorer, but a distributor, connecting so well with her teammates. Boston trails by 2. We got a whistle down in the Boston O-zone behind the play and a hooking call. We'll see which box opens. It's Boston going back on the power play. Lee Steckline will sit for 2 minutes.
Boston has been the cleaner team, and we saw on that last power play opportunity, they got a lot better passing, they got more movement, and they came really close to scoring. So you see Elena Mueller along the boards taking the hook on the hands. So Steckline, who's been great tonight for Minnesota, will sit in the box, one of their best defenders. So she'll be off the ice for 2 minutes unless Minnesota scores a shorthanded goal.
Boston's done a really good job winning some of these face-offs on the power play as well. They win one to open up their third power play. Shopsall taking her time, stepping to her left. Far side boards. Just a bit of a miss pass there, but nice recovery by Morin. Morin has it now. She snaps a shot. Pad save. Hensley backhanded in front. Morin had a chance. She comes to the near side. To the end boards it goes. Boston starting with their second unit first on this power play. Morin stepping up to her right, and it's deflected in front. Nice job by Channel, sacrificing the body. Morin has it to the right wing circle to DiGirolamo. Back to Morin. Morin shoots. Oh, might have came all the way into Hensley. And again, she stands tall.
Boston going high to low a few times to start this power play, getting those point shots, shooting for rebounds, kind of getting that puck low off the pads of Hensley. They know she's been tough to beat so far. Maybe getting a rebound in the crease could give Boston a chance to score.
A lot of speed for Mueller to Gable. Gable trying to go cross ice. Keller now. Keller slows it down. Keller, nice pass to the opposite end. Finds Knight. Knight back to Keller. That pass too hot to handle.
Yeah, just a little bit too fast, and Keller will have to retreat into her own end.
7:20 left in regulation. Minnesota has led the entire way. Jumping on Boston with 2 first-period goals. Each team scored 1 goal in the second. Knight tries to pass to herself. Instead, it's intercepted, and Greco clears. Just 18 seconds left for Boston.
I'm not going to lie, David, on these penalty kills, I'm kind of just excited. I want to see the new rule in play. We haven't had a chance. No team has done it yet, so we're just waiting. It does add an extra element to the penalty kill.
We can add that to the list of firsts whenever that happens, right? It's a week of firsts here in the PWHL, and Lee Steckline, who actually sat for her second penalty in this game, is now released, and we're back to full strength. Less than 7 minutes to go. Nicole Hensley has been awesome tonight in goal for Minnesota. 25 saves on the 26 shots that she's faced. 3 shots for Boston on that power play. On that total on the power play. Darkangelo now. Boston has numbers if they hustle. Darkangelo will flip it to the corner. Hensley's there to play it, but Boston keeps it in the zone. We're down to 6 minutes left. Boston eyes starting to look up at that clock with a 2-goal deficit. Minnesota trying to get a win on the road to start off their PWHL history. Brown backtracks, smacks it ahead. Shirley, right side. Shirley has some space. Sophie Shirley tries to get to the corner. 1-on-2. She falls down. Physical play by Minnesota. Stood up here. Shopsall able to draw it free. Keller now. Keller swivels back. Keller keeps it in. Megan Keller. Beautiful work. Keller just wide.
Keller showing her offensive abilities on that stick handling.
Puck slowly saucers all the way back to the opposite corner. No icing. 5 minutes to go. Crowd a little bit antsy here as Boston's offsides with less than 5 minutes left. We'll come back for the close of the third period after this.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third period of play. 3-1 the lead for Minnesota. Let's take you through the scoring so far. It was Taylor Heisey in the first getting things going, becoming the first Minnesota player to score in the PWHL debut. And once again, in the first, Sophia Kunin able to put that one home. Then we move to the second, and it's Teresa Schaafsal battling through a few different block shots to put this one home and become Boston's first goal scorer in PWHL history. But then to kill the momentum right after that, under a minute later, Grace Zumwinkle quieting the crowd to put this Minnesota team up 3-1, and that's where we stand.
Bridget, you were all over it after those goals in the first period as well. Minnesota, all 3 goals. Top shelf. I think 2 of them went bar down, if not all 3.
Really just picking the perfect spot. You couldn't ask for more perfectly placed shots, and it's no surprise with who's taking them, where they're going, how perfect they are.
This is Gable. She's going to wind up, and this one will slam off of the end glass. 4:29 left. Boston with some extra oomph on the offensive end. This is Morin. Hensley made the save as the puck's still loose. It's finally covered up outside of the paint.
Some pushing and shoving after the play as well. Canadian Tire is a proud funding partner of the PWHL. Canadian Tire, Canada's store, here to make life in Canada better, as we see just a little bit of extracurricular activities after the play. This starts with a collision to Hensley. She took a little bit of contact after the whistle blew, and so that kind of sparked some tension.
It was Hillary Knight who got up in the grill of Sophia Kunin as well. Kunin with the second goal for Minnesota, and she got tied up by Hillary Knight in this scrum. But the refs separate things, no penalties, and we play on.
One of the things I love about the rule book for this league is that it allows for more physicality for these women, and you're going to see it. You're allowed to check as long as the player is making a play on the puck, which is different than some of the rule books in the past in terms of women's college hockey, and physicality being introduced to this game more and more. I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps trending in that direction and we get closer and closer to those NHL rules.
Brandt passing behind goal. Here's a shot, and Hensley somehow sees it through the trees. Came all the way in from DiGirolamo, and she looks in with a blank stare. How did you save that one?
It's really been Hensley keeping Boston off the board in this third period. She's had to fight through a lot. Shots 31-16, and she's seen most of them.
30 saves for Nicole Hensley. on a fantastic night for number 29 in white.
Well, if you're the goaltender for either of these teams, you want to get that first win in franchise history under your belt. And Aaron Frankel just making a break for the Boston bench, so 3:23 left to play, and Boston with the empty net on the other side.
Hensley is the first goaltender in PWHL history with 30-plus saves in a game. In the first 2 games on New Year's Day and yesterday, no goalies surpassing 29 saves. Corinne Schroeder had 29 saves in a shutout in New York City's 4-0 win. Hensley, though, has surpassed that. We're going to have a penalty here.
Keller just got taken down in the corner, went a little bit hard into the boards with her feet, and it's once again going to the box. It's Lee Steckline. So she'll skate right back over there. She served another penalty in this period. Keller drawing the penalty. We'll see what Boston opts to do. They could go 6-on-4 here. They already have Aaron Frankel on the bench, so we'll get another look at this and see what Boston decides for the power play. Contact in the back of the legs there. Keller going into the boards. So Boston with just under 3 minutes left to play. They do opt to go 6-on-4.
Boston is 0 for 3 on their power plays with a combined 3 shots. They go 6-on-4 here. Morin, it was deflected, but somehow stays out. Gigi Marvin was on the doorstep. Morin passes to her left. Keller eyeing a shot from straight away. Opts not, and goes back to Knight. She'll tee up this time! Megan Keller! It's 3-2!
So important to get that goal early on in this power play. Now they leave themselves with 2:40 left to score a game-tying goal. Keller has been shooting well from the point all night. Looks like it may have taken a redirection out in front. Hillary Knight always taking away the eyes of the goaltender, so Nicole Hensley having to battle through the screen. We'll get another look. Keller's one-timer from the point. There's Hillary Knight right in front. It does look like it takes a redirection. This should give us a better look from this angle. And it goes into the top corner.
Bridget, it was kind of funny. The 6 players that were out there for Boston, they all met up in the little huddle. I saw some shrugging, some did you score it, did I score it? Knight says, all right, I'll lead the goal rush to the bench, and we'll see who they credit it to. But Megan Keller is credited with the goal for the time being. They give the assists to Alina Mueller and Sid Morin. Keller with a monster shot from the blue line. She showed it off here tonight. This is a 1-goal game. 2:15 left. 1:15 left on the Boston power play. Excuse me. Penalty, of course, cleared. 3-2.
And back in net, Aaron Frankel. So they were able to put her back on the ice. I'm wondering if she'll make a break for it once again. Still down a goal.
2 minutes left. Crunch time here, and it's a 1-goal game. Fans are into it at the Tsongas Center. Can Minnesota escape, or does Boston have one left? Remember the last time Boston scored, Minnesota responded 55 seconds later. Zumwinkel sent one in. It was blocked away. 1:35 left. We're in for a thrilling last 90 seconds. Mueller tips it off of the boards, runs it down in the corner. Looks to the opposite side tonight. Morin now as Frankel is back on the bench. 6 players in the O-zone for Boston.
Keller asking for the puck at the point again.
I wonder why. This one will go all the way down. Icing. 1:08 left.
Still plenty of time for Boston. They'll have a chance now to set up in the zone, try to win this face-off. Alina Mueller will step in for the draw. If she can get a clean face-off win, maybe move the puck back to the point, go low to high again, and try to tie this up.
Megan Keller the goal, the assists to Mueller, and Morin first power play goal of the season for PWHL Boston. Big face-off here.
They actually just changed their lines out, so it's Rattray taking the face-off.
Morin keeps it in. Here's Keller, passes to her left. Here's a shot. Hensley falling backwards. The puck goes behind goal. Less than a minute left. 50 seconds to work with. Shopsaw pushed up against the glass. Boston trying to get it up to the point. It goes the opposite way. Keller's there. Nice feed. Rattray deflected, and it comes to the near side corner. 35 seconds left. A 1-goal game, thanks to a goal just a couple minutes ago from Megan Keller. Net is empty for Boston. Morin looking in front. Deflected, pushed forward by Minnesota. Morin has it. 20 seconds left. Sydney Morin shoots. And a pad save, Hensley. Shopsall quickly in front. D'Arcangelo just wide. Backhanded away by Shirley. Can Boston keep it in? 7 seconds left. Keller looking for open ice. Goes to her back. 2 seconds. And Hensley makes the save at the buzzer. That's the final. 3-2. Minnesota wins. And in fitting fashion, Nicole Hensley, a save to seal it.
You see the smile on her face getting that win. She really fought hard in that final 3 minutes when Boston had their goalie pulled and the extra attacker on the ice. She did so much to contribute to this Minnesota win. And Boston, you got to give them credit as well. They got a lot of chances offensively, and you could really see the progress that they made as the game went on. We'll take a look at some of the key plays of today's game. And there's the finish with 1 second left. Shopsall teeing it up.
How about the fist bump as well with the glove hand? And Nicole Hensley exhales. What a win for Nicole Hensley. She was fantastic. 33 saves for Hensley. We'll take one last break. When we come back, the player of the game, and we'll wrap things up here in Boston. What a fantastic home opener for PWHL Boston. 3-2 the final score. Minnesota wins thanks to the goalie in white. Nicole Hensley, 33 saves as both teams posed for a picture at center ice. And Bridget, this was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And you see that after the game, it's really all about what these teams have accomplished together. The 6 teams in the league coming and doing something that they've really wanted to do for such a long time. So both goalies talking to each other after the game. Such a historic game so far, and Hensley has just been spectacular.
The player of the game is brought to you by Canadian Tire. Any guesses? Yep, it's Nicole Hensley. 33 saves, 2 goals against. Only allowed a power play goal and one off of some chaos in the second period. She was awesome, Bridget.
Yeah, she really stood on her head here to give the road team Minnesota the win on Boston's home ice to continue the trend of the road teams winning in all 3 PWHL openers.
Nicole Hensley from Colorado wins her professional debut in the PWHL, and she is tonight's Canadian Tire Player of the Game. Bridget, final thoughts on tonight's game?
Final thoughts that really we saw a great game of hockey. The pace was outstanding. The crowd was outstanding. You saw them really getting into it, especially on that Megan Keller goal to make it 3-2. You hear the cheering in the building. You felt the momentum for not just this team, but this league.
That'll wrap things up here in Boston. Goal scorers for Minnesota, Taylor Heisey, Sophia Cunnin, and Grace Zumwinkle. For Boston, Teresa Shopsall and Megan Keller on the power play. Once again, our final score is Minnesota 3, Boston 2. PWHL action continues on Friday as Toronto faces off against New York at 7 p.m. ET in Bridgeport, Connecticut. For Bridget Prue, our director Tim DeRoy, producer Casey Carter, I'm David Korzanowski saying so long and good night from the Tsongas Center.
She's an incredible Olympic athlete. I mean, she's, some would say, some of the best of the best. I mean, she was captain of Team USA before. She had a baby. She she got herself back going. She's been skating, I think, for about 3 months. And so skating with the NTDP, with the boys. And so, to be honest with you, my first couple of practices, some players were a little sore from the pace that I bring when I'm running a practice. And she was like, Coach, this is what I've been doing. This is what I'm used to. And, you know, she's incredible. It's awesome to see.
How did the team handle the physicality? Obviously, you've had checking before in the previous league. How did they handle it this time?
It's good. I mean, it's a little different for them, right? I mean, they're not used to being able to have full body contact along the wall. Although, you know, I've been a part of many USA-Canada games. There's a ton of body contact. And I mean, to be honest with you, I used to try to scrimmage a couple of boys teams before tournaments to get our girls ready. And I would tell the boys up front, listen, they do not play no-touch hockey. They are big, strong athletes who are going to play hard, play physical, and that's what we saw tonight, which is exciting.